Hi folks, the Filipino P here. And for 6 years now, I've been telling you what it's like in the Philippines, from the cost of living, to the culture, to the women. But nothing's better than listening to the guys with first-hand experience. Is the Philippines still worth a visit? Or is it a foreigner trap that lost its luster? Well, let's ask the guys who are there right now, the ones who are seeing the place with their own eyes, and find out if the hype matches the reality.
Even the beautiful beaches are filled with crap.
So when someone gives you their opinion about a restaurant you never tried, you have to wonder if you can trust the review. Maybe they were in a bad mood, or maybe the cook was having a bad night, or maybe they really loved the place, but they ordered something you're allergic to. The best way to find out if it's a good place is to go there yourself. But what if it's on the other side of the world? Then you'd want to check a lot of reviews and try to get a sense of what the place was all about. That's why this video might be useful, because I'm not just gonna interview 2 or 3 guys, I'm gonna talk to 10 of them and let them tell you in their own words about the good, the bad, and the ugly. But first, let's find out who these guys are and why they came.
So I came to the Philippines because my father owns a promotional product company and we have 5 staff here in one of the offices, and we've come here, we come once a year.
So I was living in Dubai for 5 years and I met a lot of Filipino people there. And so I first came maybe a year ago to Philippines, and it was my dream for a long time actually to live here.
I came to the Philippines on holiday for 6 weeks from Australia. I am 2 weeks into my trip, and yeah, just hoping to see as much of the country as I can, meet some awesome Filipino people.
So I actually came to the Philippines to scuba dive, because I'm scuba diving a lot, and that's kind of the goal, to do as many dives on different places that I can.
It's my 5th trip. I come here once a year, and it's a work trip. I come here to visit a team of staff that handle my inquiries for my business back home in Australia.
Let's see here. I just came here to the Philippines 27th January. I came here for the low cost of living, the weather, love the weather. So I'm pretty much retiring here, gonna do that.
Well, so I had started traveling from America maybe about 4 years ago. I was just bouncing around in a bunch of different countries, and eventually somehow I get the idea in my head that I want to come to the Philippines. I was going around Europe at this time. I was staying in Romania, and I don't know, something maybe online caught my interest, and I just booked a ticket to the Philippines with no expectations. I stayed in Manila. This is my 3rd trip now in the Philippines, and I like it here. I want to stay here.
Well, I came here for health reasons. I have a chronic sinus, and the cold is really not good for me. So ever since I've been here, I have no problem. I'm breathing through my nose just fine. So basically, I'm staying forever.
Well, I come up for 6 months every year to escape the cold, the Bugnaw in USA. I work construction and agriculture. You know, nowhere's perfect, but it sure beats being cold back home. I'm very blessed to be here.
So I came here this is for a vacation, to check things out. I had like the privilege to meet some Filipinos people in the past, friend of mine. So I have tried the food. I know the culture looks very interesting.
Okay, that's a pretty wide array of reasons. They came for work, for the weather, for vacation, even for health reasons, but not one single mention of female companionship. I kind of have a hard time believing that, but we'll return to that subject a little later. So let's get right to it. What are the best things about the Philippines?
Being around people and seeing how happy they are, and even though they don't have a lot, they're still very happy. I think, you know, like in the US, we have everything and everyone is like still depressed. They think like, oh, you know, this person has more than me, or I'm poor, I don't have money for this. But it's like these people in the US, they don't understand like what poor is. Like you go to other countries, you start to see really what poor is. And Filipino people, they're still so happy. I really wish people could meet more Filipinos and like have the same mentality as Filipinos, because you guys are really amazing that even with your situation, maybe to you it's not even a situation, it's just a normal life. So I think you really appreciate more like the life and what you have. And people here, they have families, and even though they don't have a lot of money, they're still having kids and family. And so yeah, I think the culture, the mentality of Filipinos is really great.
What I did really like is a lot of the shopkeepers are singing. You know, they're just singing. You don't see that in many other cultures. So that's probably the best thing about it. I've found it.
I heard very negative things and very positive things. So that's always a thing. Everyone makes different experiences. So I'm coming here to make my own. And so far I'm like pleasantly surprised with the people, with everything. I know it's not, I came from Thailand, which is different, but it's still nonetheless, it's Philippines. What I saw so far is very nice, very beautiful.
The politeness and friendliness of the people stands out very great. Prices, a lot of prices are a lot cheaper than back home in Australia. So I could do a lot of shopping.
Going to the grocery store, you guys kind of have things set up differently, especially the meats, stuff like that. Everything's a little bit fresher here. Everyone's so nice. So anytime that you need anything, you can ask questions. People are very accommodating.
Number one reason I want to live in the Philippines is because of English speaking. Also, the visa is very generous here in terms of how long you can stay. I mean, I don't know any other countries where you can basically live here forever as a tourist. One of the things, I guess, immediately I noticed the prices of things were much different than in Europe and America. So that's something that I really enjoyed. I mean, haircuts, any kind of service is much cheaper than America. Although, maybe if you go to the grocery store, you'll find some food items that actually cost more in the Philippines than in America. So I was a little bit shocked about that as well.
It's a whole nother universe. It's very relaxed, very calm, non-confrontational. The people are friendly and warm. I mean, that's how you want to live your life. Why would you be stuck in a place where everyone is confrontational? You have drug addicts everywhere and crime. And that's exactly what's happening most of the West. So it's a no-brainer for me. Now, for other people, I don't know.
The easy life, you know, you got the nature, you got it's not too expensive, obviously, so you will live probably more comfortable life than, you know, rather in the West. And you have all these beautiful nature, beaches, mountain, and it's very promising.
So that was pretty clear. They all mentioned the Filipino people. Friendly, happy, shiny people who sing a lot and don't like confrontation. And that's 100% true. They also like the lower cost of living and the natural beauty. But to be completely honest, prices have risen a lot in the past few years, to the point where it's now more expensive than countries like Vietnam and Thailand. And as far as nature, I guess it's an eye of the beholder kind of thing, because there's just as much beauty in almost every other country I've been to. But anyway, now let's get to the bad stuff. What will these guys say is the worst thing about the Philippines?
You know, it's not as advanced as like the US or some places in Europe. I mean, I knew it wasn't advanced, but I didn't think it was this bad. And I really feel bad to say that, but it's worse. You know, like the streets, when you go out in the car, like there's always traffic. They don't have a stoplights. You know, like there's a lot of things I think that they can build for the infrastructure that can make it a lot better. But I know it's difficult because economics and money and things like that. But this actually really surprised me, and this is why I'm considering, like, okay, can I live in Philippines or maybe not? Just because the infrastructure here is really lacking. Like even to walk down the sidewalk, it's difficult. You know, some places you can, but other places it's quite difficult. So,
being Australian, I speak English, but not the English that Filipinos tend to understand, the Americanized version of English. So I'm constantly being misunderstood, and my sense of humor is misunderstood. I'm always cracking jokes with the locals, and they give me interesting looks. What I wasn't expecting was the poverty. I've seen a lot of poverty in this country. I didn't think this was such a poor country. And it's, yeah, it's very, sad. It pulls at the heartstrings. Every day you walk around, there's poor people everywhere. Yeah. I hate the disrespect for the environment. There is rubbish everywhere. Even the beautiful beaches are filled with crap. And that's sad. I come from a country where we really respect the environment and the beaches in particular. And I think people would stand up in Australia if they saw somebody leaving trash on the beach, whereas people just stay quiet here. I think people need to stand up for their country and their land and the environment a lot more. So
There's a lot of meat everywhere. Like everyone eats meat, and my dad is vegetarian, so that has been somewhat of a struggle, and sometimes there's a language barrier where we're asking for vegetarian meals, and they don't really understand it. It's hard to find. What I like the least, I'm gonna have to say the traffic. It takes ages to get to even short distances. And you've got motorbikes everywhere, and I don't think I could ever drive here.
Well, there's like a lot of things I could say, but it's definitely taken a lot of getting used to. I mean, one of the things I really am not satisfied is the food. I mean, it's actually kind of quite challenging for me to find a restaurant that I really enjoy. And if I do, I definitely always keep it in my repertoire. Maybe I have like 5 or 10 different restaurants that I continually go to, because I personally, no offense, but I've just had a lot of trouble finding restaurants that I really enjoy.
The infrastructure, it's built in the most expensive, non-functional way possible. The infrastructure here could be built for half the cost and be twice as more functional.
Worrying about Lanogs, earthquakes, being scammed on the tricycles, in the province, it happens a lot. The bacalats, the ladyboys. Now that I've been here 3 years, 4 years, I can tell. But when I first come, very, very aggressive, touching, and yeah. The homelessness, the street kids, I wasn't expecting that. The plastics. There's a lot of pollution in the plastics that breaks my heart, being an environmentalist.
And I had to admit, all that stuff is true. The traffic, the poverty, the pollution. But no one mentioned one of the biggest reasons I'm sometimes ashamed of my country: the absolutely horrible way we treat animals. I did a whole video about it that no one watched, so I really hope more people check it out. But even with that whole laundry list of problems, no one mentions something I like to call the issue with the tissue.
yes, of course. Asia's that kind of place. I've experienced it quite a bit. I always make sure I'd carry my own toilet paper, and I'm not too far away from somewhere that's got a sanitary bathroom. So it's very hard to find public bathrooms. Definitely in my first week here, I saw a lot of people urinating in the streets, which is not something I'm used to at home, but I have seen that in other Asian countries. So yeah, it's fairly shocking when you see it at first.
That's a major issue. I carry my own toilet paper. I didn't bring one today with me because I wasn't carrying a bag. Even in the office, they don't have toilet paper. They don't have soap. There's a lot of plumbing issues. Toilets not working, flooded floors of water. And I know companies are trying and getting plumbers back out. So I don't think that the plumbers know how to fix these things or know how to build properly in the first place. And I think if the government spent more on training and infrastructure, the office would be a lot nicer.
Yeah, so I found some of the bathrooms to be like very unhygienic, unfortunately. So I try and, whenever I leave the house, I try and make sure to go before I go out.
There is the cup you can use, I forget the name, but yes, TP, bring your own, just in case. But most places, they have a bidet.
Just like that lady from my last video, there's something about that guy that makes me laugh. I don't know, he'd probably be fun to hang out with, maybe have a drink with, if I still drank, but I don't. So now let's go back to the subject everyone overlooked when they told us why they came to the Philippines. We all know that there's a lot of cheaper places to live and there's plenty of better beaches in the world. So let's admit it. A lot of guys come here to find a Filipina. Now it's easy to find a woman here, but is it easy to find a good woman?
It's almost all positive. I had one that was not good, but it's my own fault for not recognizing the signs to see that it was not going to be good. So I blame myself for that. But actually, one of the big reasons I think for coming to Philippines is because, yeah, I want to find a wife, I want to find a girlfriend, because I think the way that Filipinas are in a relationship, I think it's much better than in the US. You know, they're caring, they'll cook, they'll clean, they'll take care of you. You know, the women in the West, they don't want to do that anymore. They think it's like a slavery or like oppression or something, but no, it's just taking care of your family, support your husband, support your boyfriend, and he's going to do the same thing for you, should be. Like, he should take care of you, you take care of him. I think Filipinos understand this much better. And so, yeah, I have like mostly all good things to say about dating in Philippines. Yeah, I think a lot of guys actually from West should come and try to date because they'll see it's a big difference.
Well, hopefully the woman I'm with cannot hear me, but I've definitely dated a few Filipinas here and there. Honestly, I was not used to the attention that I was getting when I first came here. I mean, that was honestly one of the motivating factors of coming here. I'm just going country to country, seeing on dating apps which location I'm getting the most attention on, and Philippines definitely, like, my inbox blew up immediately. So it's definitely been a fun experience, although you really have to be careful with who you're dating. I mean, there's a lot of women in my experience that I've noticed don't have good intentions. They want to date a foreigner for the wrong reasons. Although I have hope to find the right woman that maybe hopefully I will marry one day.
The dating, it's crazy. It's fast-paced. I mean, you gotta experience it. There are no words to describe it. You just have to experience it. Anything I say, first of all, will not be believable, and second, even if it's believable, I might sound like a crazy person.
No, you don't sound like a crazy person. I've heard it all before. The jealousy, the jumping into bed too fast, the insecurity, the fact that you probably got more dates in a single week than the number of hairs on your butt. I'm just glad that most of you end up finding the woman you're looking for, as long as you know how to spot the warning signs of a bad one. So the Philippines has plenty of pros and cons, but here's the ultimate question. Do you think you could be happy living there?
Yeah, I think the life here is much easier. So definitely, I think it's easy to come here and be happy. You know, you see a lot of foreigners, like older, like retired guys, like 50, 60, 70. But I think even the younger guys, if they have a remote job or they just have some money, they can come here. I think they'll find that it's quite easy to live here. You know, the cost of living is much less. There's beaches everywhere that you can go to. You have nice malls like this. And so, yeah, I think it's quite easy to live here. You just need to find a good area that you're comfortable in and make some friends, which is so easy. Like we had a karaoke with the Grab driver. He was singing with us in the car. Like, it's so easy to meet people here and have a good life. And I think that's what you need really to be happy, is friends. And it's so easy to make friends with Filipino people.
Yes, I think men can be happy here, say retirees, etc. As long as you don't keep your standards or your hopes too high, don't bring your US culture with you. Don't expect the food to be made exactly the same it's made in your own country.
It depends on the mindset of the people. If they come here, I mean, you can definitely get happy here. I can see that. We have great weather, beautiful islands, beautiful landscape, and I see why not be happy. But it always depends on the person. What is he looking for? What is he expecting? Like, if you can live a simple life and enjoy the country how it is with the people and engage with them, I see no problem.
So most of my foreigner friends that stay here long term, they have this mindset where it's like, they're not sure how long they're going to be here. Every month, even if they've been living here for several years, like I have this common mindset between my friends where it's like, I'm not sure if I'm going to be here next month. Maybe I'll leave. But something keeps us staying here. So it's really hard to get used to some of the things. I mean, if you're only coming here for a few days or a week, it's a totally different experience than if you want to live here. I mean, there's so many things you have to get used to that if you're coming from the West are going to be hard to get used to. So if you really want to live here long term, the mindset that I always have is hope for the best, but expect the worst. I mean, you will always run into a lot of annoyances here. It feels like whatever bad can happen constantly ends up happening. So you have to have a low expectation. But if you can get over that, I think the benefits of living here long term are worth it.
So it sounds like the Philippines can be a good place to live if you moderate your expectations and don't expect the luxuries of the West. Like most of the guys said, it really depends on what you're looking for and your tolerance for inconvenience. Just like deciding on a restaurant, it's a matter of personal preference, and the best way to research it is to listen to a lot of different voices. Well, that's it for today's episode, and I'll be back next Friday with something totally different. And in the meantime, you can find me on my Patreon page, so I hope to see you there. Till then, folks. If you think about it, I'm kind of like a Vulcan, using calm, cool logic to address your concerns about life in the Philippines. Like Mr. Spock, I'm a half-blood as well, with one foot in the East and one in the West, giving me the ability to meld with your mind on topics concerning the culture here. All that I ask in return is a thumbs up on this video, subscribing to my channel, and hitting the notification bell so you know when the next data has been presented for your analysis. And if you really want to become part of the crew, feel free to check out my Patreon page for bonus content and exclusive features. Oh, Jim, you look good today. Have you been working out? Oops, Bonfire. Well, since it looks like I'll be busy for the next few hours, I suggest you view my other videos during my absence. Oh, so that's the captain's log. Are you gonna make an entry?